Welcome to the TBI Navigator walkthrough version 1.01. This app is designed to provide clinical decision support for the assessment and management of traumatic brain injuries in pre-hospital and hospital settings. The TBI Navigator is the result of a collaborative effort by our development team at Moberg Analytics, including Ragged Edge Solutions in Greenville, North Carolina, the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, the Joint Trauma System, and the Traumatic Brain Injury Center of Excellence. Now, let's dive in and explore the features and functionality of the app. To get started with the app, we begin on the login screen. Here, you can log in using your email and password, and there's also the option to enable Face ID for quick access, which will pop up during your first login. If you're a new user, there's a simple sign-up page available too. For this walkthrough, I'll go ahead and log in directly. Once logged in, we're greeted by the main dashboard. At the top, we have the title TBI Patients, along with a menu icon on the left, which allows you to navigate through different sections of the app. On the right, there's an emergency call button for quick access if immediate assistance is needed. At the bottom, there's a disclaimer reminding users that the app provides informational content only. Finally, the main action button, Assess, allows us to start a new patient assessment. Let's start with the T-MACE assessment for this demo. First, I'll tap on Assess to open the menu. Here, we can see different options like Notes, Vital Signs, AVPU, GCS, and T-MACE. I'll select T-MACE to begin. Next, we're taken to the T-MACE overview screen. It gives a quick summary of the assessment with an estimated completion time. T-MACE, or Tactical Military Acute Concussion Evaluation, is the tactical adaptation of the MACE-2 exam, developed by the Joint Trauma System. I'll go ahead and tap Start to proceed. Before starting the assessment, we can add some basic details for the patient. First, there is an option to add an image to the patient's profile using the Edit button. You can either take a photo with your phone's camera or select an image from your photo gallery. Next, we can enter the patient's first name, last name, roster number, location of the encounter, and much more. If no details are added, the app automatically assigns a unique ID for the patient, which is displayed just below the profile picture. Once everything is set, we hit Next to move to the assessment. We are now in the assessment screen. Starting at the top right, there's an X button, which lets you close and exit the assessment at any time. Just below that, you'll see the option to Edit Patient. Since we haven't added a name or battle roster number yet, it shows Edit Patient, but once we add these details, this area will display the patient's name. Next to the Edit Patient button, we have the Status field. As we go through the assessment, the app will analyze the responses and display the patient's status here, giving a quick reference to the patient's condition. Now, we're ready to begin answering questions related to potentially concussive events. The first question asks if the patient has been involved in a vehicle blast event, collision, or rollover. Each question has simple options like yes, no, or unable to assess. And there's an option to add notes for additional context. After completing all the questions in this section, we can see any notes we've added displayed below the questions, providing a summary of our observations. This makes it easy to review any additional details we noted along the way. Once we're ready, I'll hit Next to proceed to the following sections of the assessment. We'll continue answering each set of questions, following the same pattern until we complete the full assessment. Once you've answered all the questions, you'll be taken to the Assessment Time screen. Here you can review and, if needed, adjust the time and date of the assessment. At the top, you'll see the current status based on the completed responses. To change the time, simply tap Change Time and set the correct hour, minute, and period. Below that, you can select the assessment date as well. Once everything looks good, hit Submit to navigate to the recommendation screen. At the top of the recommendation screen, you'll see the GCS score, along with a breakdown of the score by eye, verbal, and motor responses. Below that, the app displays recommendations generated based on T-MACE guidelines, offering guidance on the next steps for patient care. From here, you can either go to the chart page or return to the home screen to view all patients. For this walkthrough, we'll proceed to the chart page. Now we're on the most important page of the app, the chart page. This page is structured in a SOAP format, subjective, objective, assessment, and plan, designed to provide a comprehensive view of the patient's condition and history. To better understand the value of the chart page, we'll perform a few more assessments for this patient. At the bottom right, you'll see the Assess button. By clicking on it, we can add additional assessments for the patient. Let's start by adding vital signs. We'll quickly enter some mock data to demonstrate how the app processes and displays this information. For this demonstration, we'll input vital signs including heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen saturation, and temperature. Additionally, we'll complete the T-MACE to assess potential concussive events, the AVPU and GCS scale to evaluate the patient's responsiveness. This will showcase how the app organizes and utilizes this data effectively. Notes are custom entries that users can add to any patient, and they will appear in the subjective section of the chart page, providing additional context and observation. The first section is subjective, which shows all the T-MACE assessments taken for this patient, including the date and time of each assessment. This allows you to track previous evaluations and quickly review any subjective observations. Next, we have the objective section, where you'll find all the objective data, including the GCS score and various vital signs like blood pressure, ETCO2, SpO2, heart rate, temperature, and respiratory rate. In this section, you'll notice arrows next to the values of each metric. These arrows indicate how the metric has changed compared to the previous observation. If the arrow points up, it means the value has increased. If it points down, it means the value has decreased. A dash indicates that there has been no change in the metric since the last observation. Additionally, the color of the metric gives quick feedback on its status. If the value is within the ideal range, it's displayed in green. If it falls outside the ideal range, it's displayed in red, alerting the user to a potential issue that may require attention. If you need more details, there's an Expand button that opens up the chart for a closer view of the patient's vital sign trends over time. Following the objective section is the assessment, where you'll see the overall TBI status for the patient. This status is dynamically updated based on the information gathered from each assessment, giving you a quick glance at the patient's current condition. The final section is the plan, which provides specific recommendations based on the app's evaluation. These suggestions are drawn from established protocols to guide you in making informed decisions for patient care. At the bottom, you'll find the Export option, which generates a PDF version of the chart. This PDF can be easily shared via any communication methods supported on your device, making it convenient for handoffs or remote consultations. When exporting the report, it's important to note that no protected health information, PHI, is included, ensuring patient confidentiality. This is where the app-generated user ID comes in handy, as it can be used to identify the patient. With that, let's head back to the home screen. We're now back on the home screen, where you can see a list of all the patients you've added. Since we just completed an assessment, you'll see a new patient card displayed here. Each patient card provides key information at a glance, including the TBI status. On the card, there are 3 dots that open up a quick action menu with options to edit the patient, copy the patient ID, or delete the patient record entirely. There's also a chart icon that will take you directly to the chart page for that patient. In the top left, we have the hamburger menu, which provides additional navigation options. From here, you can access the Settings, About, and User Manual pages. Just below the user manual, you'll find a toggle to switch between light and dark mode for the app. Heading into the Settings page, you'll find the SOS settings, where you can configure and save up to 3 emergency contacts. These contacts are accessible throughout the app with just a tap, allowing you to quickly make a call if needed. Below that, there are options to reset all data, which will delete all patient records and assessments within the app, delete account, and log out. The TBI Navigator app is available for download on the App Store for iOS and the Google Play Store for Android devices. With that, we conclude this walkthrough of the TBI Navigator, brought to you by Moberg Analytics. Thanks for watching.